Hey, so let's talk about blind spots today. Blind spots in your marketing strategy. Let's talk about how, in a really fast paced world, staying ahead of the curve is absolutely vital, right? For your business success. We know this. Even the savviest marketers will fall victim to blind spots. I think it's inevitable. And it's the thing to expect to happen. And what we want to do is we want to make sure that we're doing our best to be prepared, identify them, and then work on them all along the way. So, and that's the reason why we do checks, right? That's why we run reports. That's why we survey. That's why we do all the things that allow us to have feedback on how our program and how our efforts are performing. So you first need to understand what my marketing blind spots are, right? That would make sense. So they are marketing efforts that go unnoticed or receive an insufficient amount of attention. That's what the blind spots are. And they can range from overlooked target audience segments to underutilized marketing channels that you might have access to, or ineffective messaging. And they can hinder your ability to connect with your customers. That's the most important thing, right? We want to make sure that we are making our best efforts to connect and convert our fans, our customers, our stakeholders, our partners. It can hinder our brand visibility if we're not doing it right. And that's what this whole thing is about. Being memorable, creating some sort of legacy for the business that we're in. And of course, overall, if you are running around with too many blind spots, you will be hindering your marketing ROI. So what are the consequences? Missed opportunities. When specific, let's say, customer segments are overlooked, you fail to explore emerging marketing channels, or you might miss out on valuable opportunities to connect with potential customers. The thing is, the unidentified blind spots can prevent you from fully capitalizing on market trends and discovering those untapped markets. So the other thing is inefficient resource allocation. And this is a big one for small businesses because, a lot of times for a small business, we're just doing the best we can to make ends meet, right? And starting out usually with less than what would be ideal and figuring out how to bootstrap and pull it all together. So the thing about if you're not efficient with your marketing strategy is that you can add to that, right? Because you can lead to the inefficient resource allocation where time, budget, and efforts are misdirected. And then you have to start again. And you're wondering why certain recommendations are not working that are supposed to be fantastic for you, or it's that overwhelming, drowning feeling that you're making all these efforts and you're not able to execute on them properly, or you're not seeing the results that you expect or intend to see. So I think without a comprehensive understanding of your blind spots, you might end up investing in strategies that just yield little results and neglect promising avenues that you just were not considering. Another consequence is stagnant growth. Stagnating the growth of your brand. Your competitors might outmaneuver you because maybe they're identifying an underserved market that you have a solution for, and you haven't seen it. You haven't heard that feedback. You haven't identified that yet. And now one of your competitors is like, "Ooh, I got another avenue for revenue here." So I think that's a major key also is the ability to be able to always have an open eye for where you may have more audience than you thought you did, or that you may be needing another language to use in order to really get a hold of a particular audience segment. Okay, so how do you identify the missing blind spots? You analyze data and metrics. You do that regularly, whether it's monthly or quarterly or annually, depending on the size of your business, depending on what it is that you are monitoring. And look for trends. Look for trends in customer behavior, conversion rates, engagement levels. And data is king. Data-driven approaches can really reveal those untapped opportunities or areas that need improvement. And it doesn't mean that you have to get buried in research. There are so many tools and resources out there that can help simplify reporting for you, especially in the digital space. You spend some time putting in some data. This is what I want to track, link them up, and jump in there every month, every quarter, every year, and take a look at what's trending and what's happening. It's worth it, because if you miss a mark spending in one place, and you can catch it early and redirect it properly, you're doing yourself a huge service. Okay. Another thing is seeking external insights, right? I mentioned surveying, getting feedback outside of what you think you know. So talking to your customers, talking to your partners, even talking to your internal team. Like, don't make them feel like they can't tell you what they really see or believe. And listen. It might even be through consultants who have experience identifying those blind spots. That saying about being so close to the forest. It can be very, very helpful to have someone who just has not been in the mix of what you're doing day to day be able to look and identify things. And you've got to be open to it. I know it's your baby, but you got to be open to it. So feedback from external sources, it can be a huge, huge, huge value for tweaking and amplifying your marketing strategies. And then another thing is audits, doing comprehensive audits, just running through your marketing strategies, your channels, your persona profiles for your target audience, seeing if there's anything that's been missed, if there's any inconsistencies in how you're presenting to them, assess your messaging, make sure it's current for what the conversation is currently for your demographic. And so mitigating those blind spots, I think, target audience analysis, diversifying your marketing channels, test and experiment different advertisement campaigns or tactics, I should say. And don't be afraid to foster collaboration. Get together with people who are well aligned with what you do and have an audience that might overlap with yours, and get access. This collaboration thing has been really big and helpful in the small industry space of late. And so that's the deal. I really would just encourage you to be open-minded to the idea that you may be missing something. Identify those blind spots. When you analyze, you seek external insights, and you do your audits, it will keep you on track, and it will keep you efficient, and make sure that your budget and your time are well spent. If you need a hand, guess what, y'all? I am here to help. Book that discovery call. You can get to it at the link in bio. And of course, you can always go directly to thecollectivelmg.com and get on the calendar. Let's talk about where you're at and see where you need the most help, and if I am the right one to help you get through it. All right, y'all. Till I see you again.